Hey, I'm Bob, been totally blind since birth, and I'm into Star Wars. Going to be talking about the fifth chapter of the Book of Boba Fett today. There are going to be spoilers ahead, of course, so watch the episode on Disney Plus before you listen to my thoughts concerning said episode. So let's get into this thing. The fifth chapter is called The Return of the Mandalorian. We heard that coming at the end of last week's episode of the Book of Boba Fett, and they waste no time getting into that return. We see Din walking into a meatpacking plant. Love the atmosphere of this place. Din is out to collect the bounty on a Klatooinian. So, there is a fight scene even before the main title of the Book of Boba Fett. So, it was awesome seeing Din igniting that dark saber and going to town on the big boss and the big boss's bodyguard. But Din does injure himself with the dark saber. This is a weapon that he hasn't wielded very much yet. So it's kind of an everyman moment for him to see him not being a professional with a weapon. I mean, naturally, he's not going to be a pro using every weapon. So, seeing him get injured, I think it was on the thigh. I need to rewatch the episode with the descriptive audio track again. That was something I really didn't expect. But of course, he does wind up bringing the big guy in cold. He has to slice both of them in half with the dark saber, and he's just walking out with what I'm guessing is the Klatooinian's head. So then we get the main title of the Book of Boba Fett, and I like the work that was done with the music here. We hear, of course, the Book of Boba Fett, the main title, but we also hear the theme of the Mandalorian interspersed. So it's kind of cool that the two pieces of music mingle together like that. Really neat touch there. So Din is without a starship, and it's something I've been thinking about ever since that season 2 finale back in December of 2020. So it's kind of fun to see him taking the bus, as it were. He is riding on a starliner to get to whatever ringed world that the other Mandalorians are on. So, he sees this Rhodian child, and I mean, even though he's wearing a helmet, you can just imagine, and when he sees this Rhodian and he kind of nods to the kid. I think the kid might wave at him. He is, of course, thinking of Grogu because Din is solo now. He has no traveling companion. He is on his own again, and you can tell he misses the little guy. It was a really neat and touching scene there. You don't have to see his face beneath that helmet to know that he's missing his buddy. I love that scene. So, of course, when he gets to that ringed world, maybe they'll reveal the world on StarWars.com, the name of whatever world this is at some point. We get to see the armorer again. I loved hearing Emily Swallow's voice behind that helmet. And I'm pretty sure that was her in the suit as well. And we get to see Paz Vizsla again. I'd forgotten all about this guy from season 1. I've seen both season 1 and season 2 twice, but it's been quite a while in between December of 2020 and January of 2022. What a crazy year. So, man, it was good seeing the Mandalorians again, and we get to see what becomes of the spear that Din got from Ahsoka. So it was interesting seeing that melted down. And of course, he has that melted down into, well, from what the descriptive audio narration track lets us in on, a rounded object with two triangular shapes on either side. So how cool is that? Little Grogu's going to get a helmet whenever Din sees him again. A little Mandalorian helmet to fit his pointy ears. So yes, I wish Hasbro would make that. We need a Grogu in a 3 3/4 inch line with a little Mandalorian helmet to put on him. That would be awesome. So, man, we get to see a bit more of the Great Purge. It was interesting seeing the Empire and its TIE bombers shelling Mandalorians. Did not expect to see that bit of a flashback. It was brief, but was it ever to the point? And I liked hearing about the KX Enforcer droids. At least those are the droids that the descriptive audio narration track describes. I don't know if they've been in the comics. I don't know if this is the first time we've seen them, but I really hope we get one of those in the 3 3/4 inch line. So yes, I wish Hasbro would make that as well. So Paz Vizsla has been eyeing the dark saber the entire episode, and you just know there's going to be a duel because we did see a Vizsla wielding the dark saber in the Clone Wars animated series. Sounds like this guy is also voiced by Jon Favreau, speaking of Vizsla. So naturally the two have to duel, and naturally this other guy, Paz, he comes out on the losing end of the duel, but I really want a Paz Vizsla action figure in the 3 3/4 inch line. They described him so vividly with his vibroblade and his buckler that he fought with. Boy, I'd love to have this guy, this heavy infantry Mandalorian, in the line. He'd be awesome. And of course, now Din is suffering the repercussions of taking his helmet off twice because he is asked by the armorer after he wins the duel, "Have you ever removed your helmet?" And I mean, I was thinking, nah, Din's not going to lie, is he? He's going to be honest. He's going to show some integrity. And of course he does. He tells her yes. And then she tells him, well, you're Mandalorian no more. And the only way to redeem yourself is to go into the waters of, what was it, the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore. And of course, those mines are destroyed. That sounds like it's going to be an interesting plot point for perhaps season 3. I don't know if he's going to have to be baptized or probably fight something in the water in order to get back into Mandalorian culture. I'm guessing it'll probably be a big fight with a monster or something like that. That's what my money's on anyway. It's got to be a fight. I mean, it's a Mandalorian. How else is he going to get back into the good graces of his culture if he doesn't fight something? That'd be cool. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. This is a completely new timeline, so I can't wait to see what's in store for him. And of course, you know, he's got to go to Tatooine, and he needs a ship. He doesn't have any Mandalorians to chill with now, and so we get to see Paley again, played by Amy Sedaris. So, you know, she has been working on this Naboo starfighter, and so it's a pretty cool bit of prequel material we get to see here. And of course, my mind immediately goes to, hey, what if this one was the same one or the skeleton of the one that Anakin had piloted in the Battle of Naboo? I doubt it very much, but it would be just like Dave Filoni and company to be like, yeah, remember that that starfighter from episode 1 that Anakin was flying? Well, hey, this one was it. And when Din gets done building the ship with Paley alongside her, and you know he's piloting it and all. We get to see him evading X-wings, a couple of the officers in said X-wings, and then he lands it, and she's like, "How'd you like it?" And he, of course, he says, "Wizard." So I don't know. I'm thinking this might have been Anakin's Naboo starfighter, or perhaps some portion of it was. I don't know. It doesn't have to be, but that would be kind of cool if it was. So the episode, I love the way it ends. We get to see Fennec Shand showing up, and of course she is asking for Din's muscle. She's asking for his help against the Pikes, as we knew she would. And he says he'll help Boba. It'll be on the house, but first he's going to go see an old friend. And of course, he hasn't forgotten his kid. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Grogu is his kid, and he is not done with Grogu. I remember seeing comments online like, oh, you know, what if Grogu's not coming back? And it's like, but I mean, this is the guy's family. And I mean, he's not going to abandon Grogu. Now, I don't know what Luke Skywalker is going to have to say about attachments. I would tend to think Luke would run the Jedi Order a bit differently than the old masters. I don't know. Maybe Luke is going to be a bit more chill. Like, oh yeah, you can come see the kid on weekends or whatever. That's fine. Although we do see Luke in The Last Jedi, and he is, you know, burning the texts, or actually Yoda burns them, but I mean, Luke has read them, so maybe he was a bit more flexible than the masters in the old order. I don't know. It's there's so much that's left open here. Hopefully, we'll get to see that addressed in terms of what attachments the Jedi and Luke's order can have, if any. I would think that he'd be a bit more flexible because he probably read and heard what had happened to his dad, not getting to have any attachments in the order, the lack of love, the lack of a family, that tends to do things to a person. So maybe Luke will run the order a bit differently. I don't know. Can't wait to see what's going to happen on the Book of Boba Fett next week. I bet you we'll see Grogu in The Mandalorian. I wouldn't think we'd see him in the Book of Boba Fett. We'll probably see Din showing up towards the end of this skirmish with the Pikes, popping in to kick some butt for a couple minutes, and then he'll be on his way out again. I don't know, though. Boba Fett was nowhere to be seen this week, but you know what? We got a guy in Mandalorian armor wielding a darksaber. So I'm fine with that. It was a great episode, a fun little foretaste of what's probably going to be in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. I loved this episode, and now I am wanting action figures of the KX Enforcer droid, little Grogu with a Mandalorian helmet, Paz Vizsla. Yeah, way to sell toys, Hasbro, without selling toys. Man, you guys really know how to make a blind guy want 3 3/4 inch action figures, don't you? So, okay, I will hear you guys in the next Star Wars related video. Can't wait for the next Book of Boba Fett episode. May the Force be with you and have a great day.